For sure.
Now 2 teams that ain't winning no championship this year. And they're tied 2-2. The New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers. I got a hot take for you, Jake. The Pacers are winning that series. Okay? Because the Knicks are running out of bodies. They're just running out of healthy bodies. Like, if you look at it, the Knicks won 2 games under sort of nebulous circumstances in New York. And, you know, I just think it's not that the Knicks aren't a better team. I think they are a better team if they are whole. But they're not whole. They're not going to be whole. And Jalen Brunson can only handle so much. Josh Hart can only play so much. I just feel like they're just running out of bodies. They've played too many minutes. And at some point, like, the magic pixie dust is going to wear off. Maybe the magic of Madison Square Garden is going to help. But there's not a lot to talk about in that game. But I just don't know how the Knicks can keep playing the guys that they're playing. Like, you run out of good players playing heavy minutes.
I agree. And the fact that they did not get game 3 in a super emotional, like, knockdown, drag it out kind of closing stretch there, where Jalen Brunson had to be answering those questions about that last shot on the right wing. He clearly was trying to get fouled. I've been watching that guy up close and personal enough this season to know when Jalen Brunson's trying to get fouled. He was trying to get fouled. And he clearly had a moment of self-reflection when Fred Katz, friend of the show, asked him about that. Sorry, I was trying to look up their record with and without OG Anunoby. I could not find it in time for this point. But that is, I think, the clearest thing here. You can withstand the losses of Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson only so much when you don't have your 6'8", 240-pound wing who can guard 1 through 5. And
right.
I think that's the biggest thing here. When they didn't get game 3, and it took so much out of them just to be in that position to have Jalen Brunson flinging that prayer, hoping for a whistle. I really did not think they had enough left in the tank to turn around and make game 4 much of a fight. People, walking into these arenas, covering these games like we've been doing, it's a little bit funny to me how people every game, pregame, are like, what do you think is going to happen tonight? Because I don't know. You don't know. The players don't know. But That's the business that we're in. But I had a pretty good feeling that the Knicks were going to kind of lay an egg based off of the fact that TJ McConnell is morphing into a prophet sent from Hickory High. And that, Obi Toppin can't miss from 3.
No, what we're not going to do, he is a great athlete. That is what we're going to say about TJ McConnell. We're going to say it about Peyton Pritchard. They are great athletes. They are not tryhards. We are not going to put that label on them about, oh my God, they've been so overlooked and look at the grit and toughness. No, we're going to reverse. We're going to reverse the racial coding of all this. Okay, Jake? We're going to say that these are exceptional athletes. They're not well coached. They didn't come from great coaching families. These guys are exceptional, gifted athletes sent down from upon the heavens. Sorry about that. Go ahead and continue.
No, TJ's been awesome. He deserves every second of shine. The fact that dude still wakes up and looks himself in the mirror as a 10-year NBA pro and says, I got to do what I can to prove that I deserve to be in this league, is an awesome mentality, I think, for anyone to have about just like their own paths and their dreams and chasing what they want to do. But the fact he's morphed into this scorer over the last couple of weeks, ever since Benedict Mathurin went out for the year, has been amazing to watch. And when like Aaron Nesmith is hitting threes and Obi Toppin's hitting threes, and you go down the list and everyone's hitting threes, like I don't really think New York is going to have too much of a chance without OG Anunoby. To your point, like, do they just switch at home and they got some Madison Square Garden magic and they squeak out another one? I think it's super possible. To me, I would be far more surprised if the Knicks just laid down and lost 4 straight after going up 2-0 compared to the Minnesota conversation we were just having, partially because they're not playing the defending champs and they're playing a young upstart team that has shown their own proclivity at times to just kind of let go of the rope and run around with their heads cut off a little bit, pushing the pace a little bit too fast and flying a little too close to the sun type stuff. for Indiana, excuse me. I think we kind of saw that against the Lakers in the in-season tournament when we were there in Las Vegas, where like they were being anointed and just they didn't have it one game. It was only one game, but I think when they don't have it, you can really tell pretty early that they just like don't have that fifth gear that they typically have an advantage on other teams on. So we'll see when that switches back. But to me, it is all about the health, and I don't want to like pat myself on the back for talking about it last week on No Cap Room, but I just think it was obvious to anyone who's been following the series. Like we've been talking about this since the end of game 2, where they didn't make it out with a healthy OG Anunoby and a healthy Jalen Brunson. Jalen's saying he's fine. But like he's come out of multiple games now in these playoffs with lower body injuries that are taking your toll. I mean, Luka Doncic keeps saying he's fine too. Well, he's saying he's battling, but these like if you're out there, like, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured, and all these guys are hurting right now. So, yeah, I think the injury parts are definitely adding up for New York, and I am weary for them that even if they get past Indiana, just like we said last week, that they're going to have anything close to enough to get to Boston. To your point about the whole beginning of this, neither of these teams are winning the title.
Yeah, neither one of these teams. Like Knicks fans got a little pissy with me last week because I said Jalen Brunson's numbers are better than he is. As in me saying he's not a 35-point scorer on an absolute heater right now. Like, that's not who he is. He's on a run. This ain't what he's going to be for the rest of his career or the rest of this series. Like, that would make him the greatest player of all time, which he is not. Calm down, Knicks fans. Y'all will survive.